Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So we're back out here with the Ruger-57. This review is actually going to be on how to mount a red dot sight on this particular firearm with the Ruger-specific mounting plate. But I want to show you, I did get a chance to dial in those iron sights. If you saw my first review, it's a full review. I'll put it up here in the card somewhere. You'll know that the accuracy is just okay, the trigger's okay, but the iron sights themselves were way off, so I had to do some major adjustments to them. Luckily, there's a couple of screws in the back for windage and elevation, but you really had to crank them up and crank them over because the fact of the matter is the actual iron sights themselves are off center. So I got this American Eagle 40 grain by Federal. Once again, I'm going to put a few rounds on target, show you kind of where the accuracy is at right now, and then I did get a couple of really nice high performance rounds from FN themselves, and we'll run those with the red dot optic as well, kind of get a feel for where the accuracy is with different kinds of grains of ammunition. Take a look. So you see the first group right here, second group, flyer, and then 2 and 3 up here. You know, so at least I got them on the plate centered where I want them. Before, if you saw my other review, they were like hitting way to the left, and they were actually way down left when I first got the actual pistol in for review. Now, I will say that the FN ammunition, of course, it's much more expensive, but I'm seeing a lot tighter groups, and you'll see that here shortly when we get that red dot on. So let's take a look at what you need to get this red dot installed. So in order to mount a red dot optic to your Ruger-57, you'll need a few things. So you'll need a Ruger mounting plate right here. This one, unfortunately, is the only one they sell right now, and it actually is only designed to work with the Vortex Venom, the Vortex Viper, or the Burris Fastfire. So you need to have one of those three to mount to this plate. Now it looks like other types of red dots will fit the plate, but the threads will not. So you'll need to get this Venom or the Viper or the Burris Fastfire, because that is what comes with the screws, as well as the little hex key you'll need to actually mount it to this plate, because you need the correct thread pitch to mount to the plate. So unfortunately, that's the only kind they have right now. Hopefully come out with some Trigicon or some Holosun in the future, but you'll also need a 1/16 inch little hex key. You'll need some Loctite, blue is kind of my go-to, and like I said, you'll need the red dot. So let's dive in. So first things first, you'll need to make sure the firearm is unloaded. Nothing is in the chamber. All right, you're good to go. You can either mount the red dot with the firearm together, or you can take off the slide and just hold the slide in your hand. It's really up to you. All right, now what you have in here are 2 screws that are kind of like plugs right here. They're a little bit off-centered. So what you're gonna do is take your 1/16 inch wrench here and get those out of there. All right, keep those in a safe place so you don't lose them. All right, so now you have your 2 holes right there. Take your mounting plate right here with the screws that it comes with, and you'll notice that it has a different type of hex key right there. So good news is, I was kind of worried because I was like, wow, they didn't even give you a key with this mounting plate. You'd think they would have gave you at least that. But luckily, the Vortex Venom comes with the exact size you need. So put a little bit of Loctite on the end of the screw there. Mine was kind of clogged up there, but I went ahead and unclogged it. But unfortunately, I'm running out of Loctite, so I just got a little bit out of there. So I'll make do for now. The mounting plate only goes on one way. You'll see that it actually kind of has the hole in the back towards the rear there, and you just drop your screw right in. Take your Vortex Venom provided wrench and tighten her down. Just kind of hand tighten, nothing too crazy. Again, a little bit of Loctite on there. Can't hurt. Keeps it nice and tight and secured. You can see it just threads down nicely. All right, there you go. So there is the mounting plate. You see it's on nicely. It's not going to wiggle anywhere. It has this kind of offset to it with the screw, so it lines up nice and straight. All right, with those holes. Now you're going to go ahead and take your red dot. This, of course, is the Vortex Venom. It is the 3 MOA. and you'll see the screws that are provided here. So go ahead and get these out. They're kind of stuck in there. There you go. And again, these screws are the same thread pitch as the mounting plate, as well as the same little hex key right here. And I think I'm actually running out of Loctite, but we'll see if I can get a little more out of there. Yeah, there's just a little bit left. There you go. All right, so now you'll see that there are holes on each corner of the Vortex Venom that align with at least two of these holes, or two of these little pegs right here. So when you put it on there, it's automatically going to be on there straight. All right, and then all you have to do is take your little screws here, drop them in, like so. And then once again, tighten down. And again, hand tighten. No reason to really torque it down too tight. And the good news about the Vortex Venom, and I'll probably do a full review on this Venom here shortly, so stay tuned for that. But the good news is the battery compartment is on top. So if you're ready to kind of just leave this on the Ruger-57 or whatever firearm you choose, that battery compartment is right there. You'll never have to take this off for any reason. And there you go. So, you know, I said in my first review about the Ruger-57 that the plate kind of sits up top, kind of like more of like a target pistol or a competition pistol. It's not cut for any particular kind of red dot, so it's a little higher, and you'll see here in a second, sighting her in, a little bit different. Might be a little bit off at first, but you'll be able to dial it in pretty nicely. So that is how you install it. And of course, you have a couple of cool tools in here real quick just to show you before you hit the range again. You'll see screwdriver, you have the battery compartment screwdriver right here, and you have your windage and elevation screwdriver right there. You have a little cover, kind of goes over the Vortex Venom, kind of keeps it just kind of protected, I guess. And then you have your couple extra screws here. You have your little Picatinny rail. So there you go, guys. So that is the red dot optic on the Ruger-57. Let's hit the range. So now that you got your Vortex Venom all installed, nice and Loctited down, now the tricky part is sighting her in. So what you can do at home, and what I would recommend, is you can call what they call slaving the dot. So you can't see with these particular sights and how this is mounted so high on the Ruger-57, but typically if you have suppressor height sights, you might be able to get a co-witness through your red dot, so you'll at least get an idea on where your iron sights are sighted in for, because typically when you get a red dot, your iron sights are already sighted in like mine are now. But what you want to do is slave that dot to kind of get her down in the relative region, so at least you can get on paper. And how to do that, what you do is you actually take the little screwdriver provided with the Vortex Venom, all right, and you have your elevation and your windage on the side right here. So basically you're just going to, depending on how far off she was, and mine was pretty far off. It actually was, I was testing it on paper a minute ago here. It was pretty much bottom left, kind of where the iron sights were when I first kind of got this gun in. So I slaved her down, slaved her up, and then over to the right. And then the tricky part is, and it's really something you need to decide on how you want to do this because the ammunition is so expensive, is you need to find yourself either a bench block so you can sit at the bench, and or bench vise rather, and just sit at the bench and just get her dialed in, or you can use one of these little V-notch that are designed to mount to the top of a tripod, which I've been doing, and then you can decide on what distance you want to sight this in at. I would say maybe start pretty close. See where you are on paper. With the 5.7, usually with like a 9mm with a red dot, they recommend about 25 yards sight in, but I find the 9mm a lot more accurate than this round is currently. So, or at least I could shoot it a lot better than the 5.7, as you saw in that first video I did with the accuracy on this actual handgun. So I got her into where I think I want to be. So let's go put a few more rounds through her again with the American Eagle stuff. And I'll show you on the paper plate where I am, and then let's get an actual sight-in target set up, or a nice larger target set up, where I can show you the different kinds of ammunition. I got 3 different kinds today, and then we'll wrap this video up. I don't mind the Vortex Venom so far. It's definitely more of the budget option. I really hope Ruger does come out with a mounting plate option for maybe the Holosun or the Trijicon, something a little bit more robust. Also, the dot is really nice, but the brightness is just okay, in my opinion. So let's see where we are on that paper plate. Take a look. So red dot definitely helping a little bit with that accuracy. Of course, as always, shooter error, kind of how well you can shoot, but take a look at that. That's much better at 7 yards, guys. So I really got her dialed in right there. I was kind of aiming for that staple right in the center. So that's not bad. Let's go ahead and get a nicer target set up. Like I said, let's test out a couple of different kinds of ammunition, kind of see what we can really get out of this Ruger-57. All right, first up, once again, just to kind of get a good comparison, Federal, American Eagle, 40 grain FMJs. See how they do. I think we do top left with these at 7 yards. Oh wow, first jam on the American Eagle. Oh wow, actually bent the cartridge. You seen that? Very interesting. Oh man, got a good jam in here today, guys. That's a first. So we have the, looks like one actually got kind of bent up a little bit. Not too bad though. Let's go ahead, try them again. Kind of see why that was a failure to feed in the first place. There you go. All right, same 2 rounds. All right, not too bad. All 3. I don't know what that failure to feed was, but I know the FN ammunition is not a big fan of this gun. So let's go get the next kind of ammunition to show you guys. All right, next up with the Ruger-57, we have the FN model SS197SR sporting cartridge. All right, this is a 5.7 by 28 millimeter high performance ammunition with 40 grain Hornady VMAX bullets. So this stuff I've already run quite a bit already, just kind of test it out, kind of see how she's running, and I've had quite a few jams. So even with 3 rounds, you might see some jams. It just does not like more of the high performance ammunition. What tends to happen, it seems like the first round does not want to eject, but I've also seen failure to feeds, and I've also seen the round is not going off. The trigger kind of seizes up. So we're getting some interesting data points here on the Ruger-57. 3 rounds of this FN stuff on the top right. Let's see how she does. Ooh, see? Let's see what we're dealing with. All right, just failure to extract. It's cold out here. Failure to extract. All right, all 3. Get that last type of ammunition I'll show you guys real quick. All right, last up for the Ruger-57, we have the FN 5.7 by 28 SS198LF lead-free cartridge. This is a high-performance ammunition, but it is a 27 grain ammunition, and it is a little bit more expensive than the other 2 ammunitions you saw. Really, in order, it goes kind of least expensive Federal American Eagle, then it goes in the middle, that last FN you saw with the Hornady VMAX, and now you go with this 27 grain by FN. All right, so the last one was a blue tip, all right, and this one is a little green tip, if you can see that there. So let's see how she does. 3 rounds. Let's do center of the target. And let's see if we have any jams. I haven't had any issues yet, so we'll see if this lighter stuff that's also going a lot faster than the other 2, how it does for accuracy. Right in the center. So this is very interesting. Let's take a look. So I think we have some very interesting results here today, testing out that Ruger-57 with the new Vortex Venom. And of course that red dot, once you get it sighted in, it really helps kind of get a nice tight group. So you'll see Federal American Eagle 40 grain right there. Really not too bad. Up here you have the FN Hornady VMAX 40 grain. One fly right there, but there are actually 2 rounds in that hole right there. It's kind of hard to see with that little 5.7 round, but not too bad. And then of course what's interesting is, and of course when you shoot subs or you shoot different grains, you need to adjust for that in your sight in. So you have to really kind of pick an ammunition that you want to carry, or if you want to use regularly, and then sight in that red dot for it. But you'll check this out right here. So 27 grain FN green tip. Okay, so this right here is 1, 2, and 3. Look at that though. That is a beautiful tight group. All right, so you can see you can get some good accuracy out of the Ruger-57 depending on what ammunition you use, and if you're running this red dot, it helps that much more. So hope you guys enjoyed this review today. If you have any questions at all, hit them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video. Make sure you follow us over on Instagram, like us on Facebook for all the latest greatest deals on the internet, and I'll see you guys in the next review.